Hey guys, what is up? It's Dean over here, and today a video for you reviewing a product for the iPad 2 and 3. So thank you so much to Snugg for sending this out to me. You guys can go check this out at us.thesnugg.com, and you can find it there. I'll also have a link for you guys down in the video description down below. This guy will run you $30 in the US, and I think 29 pounds in, or something like that. I don't really remember the exact prices, but I know it's $29 in the US, practically $30, so that's around the price. It's going to be around $30. Convert that into whatever currency you want. That's around the price you're going to have it at. Now, this is a very nice case, and the reason why it's so nice is because it has this really, really nice perforated back, and this is not silicone. This is a very, very hard material. It's hard, but it does have the similar friction as silicone. So what I'm talking about is when you rub this across the table, it's not going to move very much at all. In fact, if I try to move this, it actually takes a lot of effort. So it is not exactly silicone, but it has the same effect when you try to rub it across the ground or something like that. So if you're in a car, it's not going to be sliding around the car and all that like a regular naked iPad would, or something, a different case, say a brushed aluminum case or something like that. If you had just the aluminum touching the car's surface, it'd be sliding around. This is not going to slide around, and I have tested it, and it does work marvelously. I don't really know why it's so good, but it is so good when you have to put this in a car. It doesn't slide around. It's actually very protective. I've dropped this iPad 3 times. You don't even see any damage on this. Actually, there's actually no scratches on this whatsoever, and it's all because of this guy right here. I've been wearing this for a long time already. I wanted to give you guys a really good review on this and give you my full perspective on it because it is a very, very, very nice case, and I like it a lot. Now, the packaging is pretty simple. It comes in this box, and it's a pretty nice box. You can reseal it, all that kind of stuff. iPad 2 hardshell cover, perforated hardshell cover, and stand for the Apple iPad 2. Now, the reason why it says stand is because it is not smart cover compatible. So, you do have this little stand right here that you can use to stand up the iPad while it's inside the case. Now, the cool thing is that not only can you stand up the iPad while it's inside of the case, you can also stand up the naked iPad, or actually you can stand up different devices. Now, you don't really have a wide variety of devices. For example, let me get my iPhone over here. And this is probably not going to work. Yeah, it does not really work at all. So you can't really stand up those kinds of devices, but you do have the ability to stand up the thinner and possibly larger or smaller devices. Anything that is really as thin as this can fit. So it's not just specific to the case. I found that I can take this case off. I'll show you how to do that, by the way. I'm just going to push up at these corners, and that one's ready, and this one's good to go. So just pull out. Takes a little bit of effort because it gets stuck a little bit, but not really that bad at all. So, alright, so the case is off, and this is the stand. So, I'm going to put the iPad right here, and it's standing up fine. It's not moving around, it's not wiggling. It's a little bit loose, but it is actually fine. Also, landscape mode, it's fine, and I like how this is working. This is actually a very convenient stand. It doesn't cover much of the bottom of the iPad, so you do have full access, and it is actually pretty convenient to have. You can stand up your iPad very easily. This does slide very easily across your table, though, so I just warn you about that. I wouldn't recommend you do that because you can easily slide this off your table and break it on the floor. But that's why you got the case. So the case itself is actually pretty nice, and that is why it's so cool. This is just an all-inclusive package. You got the case and the stand because it's not smart cover compatible, and the stand does double as a stand for other things. You can stand not only iPads up, but thin devices. I've actually stood up the Asus Transformer pad, which actually was pretty cool how that stood up in a device that was meant for the iPad inside of a case. So this is a pretty universal stand, which I do like, and that's something that they either don't know, or Snugg probably doesn't know that, or they do know it, and they made it that way. But whatever they did, thank you so much to Snugg, because that is a good feature to have inside of the stand. Now, on the case itself, you do have all your proper cutouts. You got the cutout for your, this is not really necessary, but you got a cutout for your Apple logo, which is actually not centered for some reason. It's kind of not centered if you look at it the right way. This part is a little bit not even, but whatever, I'm not going to hate on them for that. It's still a cool cutout. Now, you have a cutout for your speaker, 30-pin dock connector, camera, power button, microphone, speakers, headphone jack, volume rocker. What does this do again? This is, I believe, the silent vibrate switch, and home button is fine. It doesn't really go above the bezel. Now, the good thing about this is that it does also feature lay on the table design. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but essentially the iPad will never be touching the table or surface you're putting it on, assuming it is completely flat. The case is going to be touching it, so you do not need to have a screen protector if you're worrying about dropping your iPad. Now, the thing I did notice, I don't know if it's going to happen right now. It sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't. But when this case is on and my iPad is just like this, the case lifts up. I don't know why, but I think there's a possible explanation, and it's because of this lay on the table design. As you can probably tell right here, this is on top of the iPad. It's raised above. So if you have something like this, and you start pushing down, it actually lets go, and the case completely comes loose. Now that's not bad, because you're not putting your iPad in any harm's way. Your iPad is sitting on the table. But it's just slightly annoying. It's happened to me like 5 times, and I've worn this for like a week, and the iPad has gotten completely loose from the case, and I sometimes lifted up the case, and I didn't even realize that I wasn't lifting up the iPad. So there was just an iPad sitting on the desk, and I had a case in my hand, and I was wondering what happened. So I kind of realized that there was something wrong with the lay on the table design. It doesn't happen too often, and most people don't leave their iPad like this. I just left it like that for some reason. I just do that anyway to see how all the cases stand up. I do that all the time to see how the cases hold for all the reviews, so I can give a good review. But that's really what happened, and it's slightly disappointing that it did that, but otherwise it's actually pretty protective. There's really nothing else that's negative about it. That's the only thing that I really didn't like. It did work fine otherwise. The thing was, this lay on the table design is good for protecting your screen, but it may make the case fall off depending on how you're putting your case. Normally, the average person is not going to put their iPad like this. No one really does that because there's no point, but I did that anyway just to test it. So it did fall off, so that's just the gist of what I had to say, which was wrong with it. But otherwise, everything is good. Cutouts are good. It actually is very protective, and this is not going to slide around any car. It's like silicone, but harder. It's very protective. The perforated design is actually very good for gripping, and I do like that. And the Apple logo right there, as you can tell, is right there, so you can see this easily. Not sure why you'd want to. It's already perforated, so you can kind of see the back. But they did it anyway, so it looks cool. Yeah, so with that, guys, thank you so much to Snugg for sending this out to me. This is an awesome product, and I definitely enjoyed reviewing this and wearing this on my iPad. This is a $30 product, and you can go check this out at us.thesnugg.com. I will have a link for you guys, as always, in the video description down below, down there. And, yeah, so with that, guys, rate, comment, and subscribe. Check me out on Twitter. I'm at Dinazor, and, peace. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. Also, you guys can go share this with your friends, favorite, like, and comment on this video. Also, feel free to check out the previous video, which you can see right here. Annotation is right there, and go ahead and click on it.